This conference will now be recorded.
So in our previous class, we understood about our application structure. Okay, so day one, what happens is your business analyst, they have to design application structure. Consider if this is your Bank of America client, so they will be getting PEGA license, right? And their applications like credit card application or loans application or accounts application, these are to be first created and to be designed. So for that business analyst, they have to first log in and they will try to create different implementation applications, and in that process if they feel they should be having one framework, they'll maintain. So complete your application structure has to be designed by your business analyst. So once business analyst structure is completely done, you as a developer has to log in and has to design first application, maybe then second, maybe then third. So this is what your development tasks will be. Okay, and we even understood about like installation of PEGA. So how are we getting this login screen? So we understood in our personal edition. So in our personal edition, there will be one procedure, and in your enterprise edition, there will be another procedure. In personal edition, you have to take care of your laptop specifications. So about the RAM capacity. So maybe about like operating system, everything you have to take care. And in your enterprise edition, you should not talk anything about installation. Okay, I think everyone of you have done installation by this time. If not, at least today you complete it, not a problem. Okay, fine. So after you joining one company today, if today is your day one, consider today is your day one. So day one you will be getting laptop from your manager, right? And next what you have to ask is you have to ask for this URL. You have to ask for this URL. After this URL getting generated, so you will be getting this login page. And here you are supposed to log in, right? So whoever is logging into this PEGA application, they are to be called as, what is that? I told you in the last class. Whoever is logging into this PEGA portals, they are to be called as what? Tell me, online people. They are to be specifically called as what?
Operators.
Operator.
There. Okay. Yeah. Whoever is logging into PEGA, they are to be called as operator. So day one, if you are like a developer, your manager has to create operator ID for you. Maybe if I join in one company as like in PEGA tester, even I have to log in and test something, right? Even I'm logging in. So there also there should be one operator ID for me. Okay. So what type of operators will be there? We understood that there will be four types of operators, four type of roles. What are those?
Author role, user role,
Or
manager role,
Yeah. Author role. The next one,
user role.
user role,
role, and then
Admin role.
manager role,
admin
Manager
role,
role.
and then manager
manager
role.
role.
Manager role. So whoever is logging into PEGA, they should be having one operator ID and they should be having any of these single roles, any of these roles. So if you join in company, you will be given author role. Okay, you will be given author role. So once you log in with your ID and password, the next screen what will get? We understood it will be like Dev Studio or Designer Studio, right? So we call it like Dev Studio or Designer Studio. So if it is like an user, if you logged in here like an user, what is the next screen you get?
Designer
What is the
studio.
next screen? No, user portal. For the real users, you will be getting user portal. And if an administrator is logging in, what will be the next screen they get here? Admin Studio.
Admin studio.
Yeah, if a manager is logging in, he should be getting like manager portal. So each and every person who logs in is to be like an operator, and he must be having any of these roles. Now, so please go on mute, online people. I'm getting some disturbance. So whenever I ask you to answer, you can just unmute and quickly you can go back. Fine. So now if I'm just entering ABC as my ID and something like password as XYZ, whatever it is. If I click on login, First it has to check whether this operator ID and password is correct or not. So after it is identifying, then it will check what is the role. If it is author role, the next screen. Maybe if it is like developer or user, whatever it is. So if we click on login button, it is first checking whether this ID and password is correct or not. There should be some reference for this. So we're understanding that database is like reference every time. So there should be one database table checking for all the operator IDs. So what is the table name? I told you. What is that? What is the database table holding all the operator IDs? Just tell me.
PR
Mhm.
operators.
PR underscore operators.
Operators.
This is the database table name holding all the list of operator IDs. So all the operator IDs meaning combination of developers plus users plus administrators plus managers or the real people who are. So everyone is like an operator and this is the table for every time. So on click of this, one SQL query has to be executed hitting this table. It has to check whether ID and password is correct or not. So if it is correct, then it has to again check for something called access or role. So if it is like author role, it will take Dev Studio. If it is like manager role, it will take manager portal. Okay, so it has to check for author role also. And again, we understood every operator must be connected to one application as well. Suppose today, if Ravi is one manager, today you join one company. If Ravi is your project manager, and under Ravi, so there will be four team members, right? Team member 1, 2, and 3 and 4. All these four are developers. Four operator ID should be created now. Everything like an author role. Am I correct? Everything like author role. Now Ravi is asking person 1 to develop credit card application. Ravi is asking second person to develop loans application, maybe third one, accounts application. Meaning three operator IDs must be created. Every operator ID must be given author as the role, and the first person should be linked up with credit card application, right? He's author for what? Credit card application. He's developer for what? Loans application. So every operator ID along with role, they should be having some application also. There should be one application also linked up. This you have to know. Okay, so you have to understand operator ID will be like this, will be maintained like this. And as I told you in the last class, SQL query executing or this kind of validation, anyway system will check, PEGA will check. You need not write any SQL query. You need not do anything about database table. This is completely predefined. But you as a developer should understand what is happening at each and every step. So on click of this, what is happening, what Java code it is generating, what SQL query it is executing, what is the table, how much time SQL query is taking time, everything you as a developer has to understand. Why? Because last class I gave you two examples. Okay, if I'm a normal bank manager, okay, so one of my clerk, bank clerk, he also should have operator ID, right? If he is logging in, if there is something like Dev Studio coming for him, is this correct? What he can do with Dev Studio, he cannot do, right? So I'll report to you, you as like technical team, I'll report to you. So what you are supposed to fix it here, for that operator ID something like author role must be there, that you have to change, right? So without you knowing the table name, without you knowing where to change, what you will do? So you need not write in your physical coding, but you should understand what is happening everything in the background. And I told you one more example also, that is, if I'm a normal bank clerk, if I'm logging in, I'll be getting output screens only, no doubt. And in that process, if it is taking like loading for 10 minutes, is this correct? No. So performance issue is something is there. So on click of this, what extra things are being executed? Why your SQL query is taking a long time? So each and everything to be traced. Okay, each and everything should be checked with performance analyzer. So all these things you have to know. Okay, fine. So finally, you as a developer will be given one operator ID and you are supposed to log in. So even business analyst on the day one, they will log in and they will create applications. That is what we're understanding, right? If today is our like day one, as a business analyst, first I log in. I'll create maybe different applications. Then I'll create operator IDs for you all. You are supposed to log in and you have to develop. Initial background work is what I'll do. So even to log in from my end, it is asking for username and password, right? Okay, so as we understood, Pega will give one master login. Okay, you have to log in with that first. So if you log in, it will show you the next screen where I'll be creating one operator ID for myself, and then I'll log off with that and I'll log in with my new one, and I'll create new things, right? Getting my point? I'll create new things. So we're understanding Pega will give us one master operator ID with the name administrator at the rate pega.com. So this is one operator ID what Pega will by default give us. So I have to log in with that. Okay. If I click on login, what will be the next screen you are thinking about? Getting my point? So we are understanding that Pega will give us one default operator ID, yes or no? Now at this moment, if I open PR operators table, so there should be one record. If I'm having one operator ready to log in, no doubt it should be available in our table, right? So administrator at the rate pega.com and password as installed, and maybe some role should be there, applications, everything should be there, right? Now if I log in with this ID and password, what will be the next screen you are expecting? Hmm? Admin studio, no? Okay. So what will be the next screen? So business analyst, if I'm business analyst, I'll log in with this. What is my duty? First of all, tell me. What is my duty now after I logging in for first time? Creating applications,
Create
right?
the
Creating
basic frameworks,
operators.
implementation, what are required, and need to decide
Correct.
what is based on the required.
So creating initial applications, maybe how many frameworks, how
Yes,
many implementations. That is like basic thing. So is this not kind of development? This is kind of development work only, right? Am I correct? So you should be getting
yes.
like, if it is kind of development work, what is the next screen we generally talk about? Dev Studio. Getting my point? It should be like Dev Studio, meaning if I log in with this master login, master details, I'll be getting Dev Studio. If it is like linked with Dev Studio, this must be linked with what role here?
User.
Author. Dev Studio, for whom you will
Uh,
get? Author only, right? It is for author.
oh,
And we understood he's author for what application again? So if I create an operator ID for you, I'll give author as the role. For what application? There should be one application, right? So here also there should be one application. Did we create any application? So this is our starting phase, right? Did we create any application? No. So one operator ID without application name, is it possible? No. So there should be something like predefined application, right? How are we having one predefined operator ID? Same way we will be having one predefined application name also. Getting my point? Predefined application also will be there, so that we have to log in and check. That we log in and check. And 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 if in Pega, if you see anything like predefined, if you see anything like predefined, I can say like administrator at the rate pega.com is one predefined operator ID. Am I correct? Predefined operator ID. If I log in with that, it will take us to some application, no doubt. So maybe application name is something like ABC, just an example. This is also predefined. Am I correct? I did not create anything. And maybe in the past classes, one, maybe second or third class, I'm not sure. There I showed you, there we discussed something about triggering an email. Suppose if I wanted to send email, there is already one thing predefined. What is the name? Anyone? If you wanted to send email, there is already one predefined there. What is that? Anyone? Correct, Chapa. Send email notification. This is what we
notification.
understand. Yeah, send email notification. What is this? This is one predefined thing where we are having Java code, right? So in Pega you will be having n number of predefined things, n number of predefined things. All these predefined things are to be called as OOTB, meaning anyone? out of the box. Getting my point? Out of the box. So remember, in entire PEGA, if you see which is already available, that is to be called as OOTP. Now I can say administrator at the rate pega.com. This is one OOTP operator ID. Am I correct? Send email notification is one OOTP activity. Okay, OOTP activity. Likewise, you'll see any number of OOTP things. Now, let me log in with those master credentials. Administrator at pega.com. Password as install. Now, if I click on login, one SQL query should be executed. Hitting the table will cross check whether ID and password is correct or not. Then it will check for the role. So if it is author role, I have to get Dev Studio. For what application? Just click on login and try checking there. Okay, so this is your actual development studio. So this is your actual PEGA tool where any kind of development should happen here. Okay, and here you can understand something about Dev Studio, right? As we understood, it will take us to Dev Studio because of author role. And here you will see some application name also. If in your project, if you log in, you can see like credit card application for you. Maybe other developer, he can select loans application. Now with this OOTP operator ID, I can see one application with the name. What is that? Read it out. What is the application name? PEGA platform. PEGA platform. Okay, so did we create this application? We still don't know how to create an application, but I can see one application already existing. Is it not predefined? Is it not OOTP? So here OOTP application name is what? PEGA platform. PEGA platform. This you have to observe. Fine. And this is your actual PEGA tool. This is your actual PEGA tool. And okay, this is your actual PEGA tool. And here, so here, whatever you see at the top, so you can see something here, right? So this is kind of header. Okay, this is kind of header where any kind of configurations happens here. Okay, any kind of configurations happen. Okay, and here now I can see, I'm seeing it like PEGA platform. Maybe in your project you can see it like credit card application. In your project you can see credit card application. You as a developer logged into Dev Studio for developing credit card application, you will drag and drop and design screen number 1, maybe design screen 2, screen 3, whatever it is. Once your development is done, next what will happen? Maybe it will go to testing phase, maybe next one, finally bank employees, they have to use it, right? Kind of production, no? So if I'm the bank employee there, getting my point? Just try to imagine if I'm the bank employee there. So I'll be just sitting in one counter. One person will come to me and asking for credit card registration. What I'll do? So I'll just try to run whatever you have developed. I'll get screen number 1 collecting his basic details. Screen number 2 might be his educational details. Screen number 3 might be employment details, whatever it is. Once everything is done, immediately he will get one email also saying like, thank you for registration, please wait for 3 to 5 working days, activation will be done. This is what some acknowledgement email is what he will get. Acknowledgement email meaning, so this credit card application is sending one email, am I correct? Yes or no? This credit card application is sending one email, am I correct? So every application must be configured with one email triggering. Configured in the sense, so consider Amazon application. If you place one order in Amazon, immediately you'll get one email. If you're placing one order in Flipkart, then also you'll get one email. Okay, maybe if you are trying to register, maybe in Naukri for any job opportunity, you'll get email from TCS. You might be getting email from Wipro, HCL, all this, right? So, n number of applications. Maybe TCS will have some applications, Flipkart will have some applications, Amazon will have some applications, CTS will have some applications. So all these applications could send emails. Am I correct? Meaning these are not having anything about like email related development from their end. What they will do is, so every company, or maybe Amazon or whatever, they will try to get license from third party mail server. Consider today you joined like in TCS. Okay, so you will be getting one email triggered, right? You'll be getting one email, your first name dot last name at the rate tcs.com. This is the email ID what you will get. Okay, and for the client also you'll be having one email ID given that must be like first name dot last name at the rate outlook.com. Maybe for your chatting, internal chatting, there might be Skype or Teams. Okay, what are all these things? So all these are like Microsoft product. అవునా కదా? Microsoft product. Okay, so every company they are trying to use their mail servers. For that they'll get license from maybe Microsoft or Google, Yahoo, Rediff, likewise. Okay, so for any application to go for any email triggering, some extra configuration with third party domains has to be done. So such configurations has to be done here at header level. So as I told you in header, any kind of configurations is what we will do. Okay, fine. And whatever the left side you are seeing, so this is to be called as explorer. What is this? Explorer. Any kind of exploring or development related things you'll find out from here. So now I logged into this credit card application. I should understand whether it is having any parent or not, right? So the parent might be having one more parent, right? Likewise, I have to check for complete chain. And in between, so framework one related things I have to check and I have to explore those things. So any kind of exploring part, we'll do it here. Okay, and the last one whatever you are seeing, so footer kind of, so this we are calling like an footer for any kind of debugging. Suppose if I wanted to debug any defect or if I wanted to identify any fix for that, so first you have to debug. So all these are like debugging part, debugging options. And in the middle one you will see, you are seeing one image, right? Am I correct? You are seeing one image, and in this image if you closely observe, you can see some mountains, maybe passing clouds, maybe moon, and something like stars. Am I correct? So this image is completely for promotional purpose. What PEGA is doing, completely for promotional purpose. So we are currently in the latest versions of PEGA. So today if you join in any company, they need not use the latest version, right? Suppose if we join in any project which is started like 10 years back, by the time what is the latest, they'll purchase that only, no? Okay, and the project might be still running in that older version only, right? So today if you join any company where it is still using older version, will you reject your job opportunity? No. Will you reject it? No, right? So you should understand learning one version of PEGA should be implemented in all other versions of PEGA, else you cannot survive in the market. So maybe today if you are learning one version, don't wait for the opportunity for that version related project only. No one will do that foolish activity, right? So you should understand that we are using latest version now. And and past versions of PEGA, so generally PEGA versions are given like, currently we are in 8.x. Okay, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, maybe 8.23, like this. So these versions we got. So past versions are like 7.x, 7.1, 7.2, 7.3. Past versions are like 6.x, 6.1, 6.2, and past is like 5.x, likewise. Okay, and the PEGA versions from 8.x, all these are to be called as infinity versions. Okay, all these are to be called as infinity versions. 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, whatever, 23, whatever it is, all these are to be considered like an infinity versions. Why are these like infinity versions? Meaning, so 7.1 is your earlier one, 7.2, then 7.3, then 7.4. After 7.4 they directly launched 8.0 version. Why? Because they felt like the next version has got n number of extra changes. After 7.4, they included lot many extra features. They don't want to give version number as 7.5. So generally based on the version number, the real users will understand what type of changes it is. Consider today Apple version, Apple iPhone version, maybe it is like 15. Oh no? So maybe in the next 1 or 2 months they will release iPhone 16. Okay. So between 15 and 16 they'll include n number of extra changes, right? Extra features they will include. So if they are including n number of extra features and if they are releasing version number as 15.1, so will you purchase that? So if they're adding multiple changes and if they're simply giving version number like 15.1, will we purchase? No. So now Windows 11 is in the market. Windows 11 is the operating system what we are using. So they wanted to add a number of extra features. If they're releasing version as Windows 13, then imagine how the real users will think about. Real users think that there might be n number of extra features, right? So if the same features if they're giving like Windows 11.1, so what will be the craze? There will not be any craze, right? Or real user will not think about what type of changes it must be. So finally, based on the version number, we should think how extra changes must be. So 7.4 after that they directly launched this 8th version. And in 8th version, they have added n number of changes. That is the reason from 8.0 onwards, they are calling it like Infinity version. So you currently logged in into 8.7, you can see it here. And maybe if you join in any company which is still with 8.2, or maybe 8.3, so that also like an infinity version. So here we are understanding PEGA has given one image just for their promotional purpose, that is they are reaching, okay, they are reaching almost to the sky. Okay, so their development standards are almost like reaching to the sky where limitless. So 95 percentage got completely automated in PEGA, so they're almost reaching to the sky. So this is completely for promotional purpose, and that too you have to understand that this has like infinity version. So today after your course is done, if you're attending for interviews, if you're coming to me for taking an interview, so my project might be on 8.2 version and you are currently learning like 8.7 or 8.8 whatever it is. Okay, so my duty here is to check for your skill. So if I'm just rejecting your profile saying like that you don't have experience in 8.2, is it's lost for me only, right? So interviewers, they will not specifically ask about any version. So they will be generically asking whether you have experience in infinity version or not. That is what they'll ask you. They will not ask you whether you have experience only on 8.1 or 8.2. There will not be anything such specific. You should understand about infinity version as like latest changes, and non-infinity versions will be having little features. Non-infinity version will be having less number of features. Okay, and still there are projects on non-infinity versions. Even there are projects running on 7.4 also. Whatever the curriculum you are learning today, you should be in a position to work on that as well. Okay, you should be in a position. Okay, so consider if you are running one photo studio, okay, where you will be collecting customers for their birthday celebrations, other things, right? So there generally you're using Photoshop software. So Photoshop software might be in like 6th version. I'm not sure about the current version. So if you are still using 6th version, which is older, might be today is like 13th version as the latest one. So just imagine from 6th to 13th, how many extra features might be added up. So you are using this version from past 10 years. So where you'll be having birthday one related data, birthday two related, marriage one related party, or whatever it is, you'll be having certain data, right? You'll be having certain data. And now you wanted to upgrade to the latest versions. It should be possible. It should be possible. The Photoshop software should allow you to upgrade. So in this perspective, whatever the old content should be completely supported into the latest one. Am I correct? Suppose in the past version, so there is one feature. Consider there is one feature. and you have developed all your projects with that old feature which is currently not available, so if you are trying to move your complete project work from there to here, so these are like using old features which is not applicable. So will your project supports here or not? First tell me. Got my question? So online people, please just unmute and talk. What I'm asking is, so consider that there is one older version. It might be PEGA or Photoshop, whatever it is. It's a tool, right? So consider that there is one older version where you are having maybe 2 to 3 projects. It is using older features according to that version. Now you upgrade it to the latest version, and in this latest version, some features might be removed, might be deprecated, and the projects whatever you are already having with those old features, if you are trying to upgrade it, if your version is upgrading, your content also should be supporting here, right? So whatever the old projects you done with old features, will it be supported here or not? Just tell me. Just tell me.
Supports.
It should
No.
be supported. It should be
It
supported.
supports.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should. Yeah, even if the features are removed, even if the features are deprecated, still our latest version should encourage, should support older versions. After all the projects are upgraded here, you might not have again old features to be used for further reference, but it will still support. Getting my point? It will still support. So if it is not supporting all the older features into the latest version, then how other people upgrades here? So if your project is not supported in the latest version, will you upgrade? Will you lose your data? No, right? So it should be supporting. Okay, it should be supporting. And that too, if you are a person here, you might be seeing everything 13th version as like new. So some extra features will be there, right? But if you can understand for 1 week, you'll understand every feature. It will not be like completely new for you. Since you're having complete hands-on experience on this one, understanding this latest feature is not like big challenge for you. So even same case with PEGA also. If you're understanding on one particular version, overall theme will be same. Overall PEGA concepts will be same. One or two or little minor changes might be differed. What you as a developer can easily adopt. That is what you have to think. Understood, right?
Yes.
Right. So finally, this is what we're understanding as like in PEGA 2, where you'll see header and bottom as like footer, and the left one is explorer, and the middle one, it's completely for promotional purpose. It's completely for promotional purpose. And if you scroll down, you'll see something like guardrail warnings. Can you see this? You can see something like guardrail warnings. Guardrail warnings nothing but the best practice, nothing but what? Best practices. So if I'm like a project manager, or if you're like a team member, after you logging in, it is your duty to make everything like 000, as we understood, based on your development standards. So compliance score will be decided. The compliance score will be decided. Maybe if you are doing something wrong, or if you're not following best practices, PEGA can easily understand your best things, and then it will throw some warnings, right? That is what we understood. So if it is having anything like one here, you are supposed to fix it. You have to click on that one, it will show you what is the mistake you have done, and then you have to rectify. So your duty is to make everything like zero. Okay, guardrail warning should be zero from your end. If I'm a manager, I have to log in, right? There I have to take care of my own errors as well as my team errors. Here if it is like showing one, it is not because of me, it is someone because of my team member. So I can ask that respect to operator, I can call that operator, and I can ask him what is the work given for him, what is the development he has done. According to that we have to fix it. So guardrail warnings is nothing but the best practices. So everything should be zero by the time we deploy our code. So from development to testing team has to be deployed, right? So it should be zero only. That is what you'll see on the home page, nothing more than that. Okay, fine. And we understood this is to be called as infinity version. and any of the past versions like 7.x or 6.x, whatever it is, those are to be called as non-infinity versions. So here in the non-infinity versions of PEGA, in the non-infinity versions of PEGA, instead of Dev Studio, you will see with the name Designer Studio. Okay, in the non-infinity versions, you will see with the name what? Designer Studio. And in the latest version, we are seeing like PEGA Studio. And what is the OOTP application for that as of now? PEGA platform, right? And in the past versions, you'll see with the application name called PEGA Rules. Okay, here application name you'll see it like PEGA Rules in the past versions, and in the latest versions you are seeing with these two things. Okay, fine. As I told you, in the non-infinity versions, so there is nothing like uh, many features, many features. So there only designing is to be done. Designing in the sense just like development work is to be done. So now, apart from designing, we have to deploy, we have to uh, report any n number of extra things are there, right? In the latest version, all the extra things are also included. So they are finally renaming it like Dev Studio, where deployment and other things also there. So in the past versions, we used to just develop that. We used to just develop other features like deployment and other things. You should be having one more thing like SMA, which is additionally to be done. But here this SMA system management applications also included in this one. Finally, they give it like Dev Studio as like completely packed. Getting my point? So Dev Studio meaning end to end, starting from designing to last deployment, everything can be done here itself. That is the reason they gave it like Dev Studio. And in the non-infinity versions, what is the application name you see? In the non-infinity versions with what name? PEGA rules. And in the latest one, PEGA platform. What is the difference? What is the difference that you have to understand now? Master, okay, I'll tell you that later. So here, actually my purpose of logging in here is to create an application, right? As a business analyst, I logged in. And what is the purpose? To create maybe one framework application and then maybe 2 to 3 implementations. That is what I generally do, right? So to create a new application, this is the navigation. If we wanted to create a new application, this is the navigation. If I click on this, I'll get a screen asking for what is the application name. Okay, after that, it will show one more screen asking for application type. So I'll give banking framework as the name and type as what? Framework only, right? So creating an application is just like 2 steps away. So give application name, application type, done. That's it. That's it. So generally creating an application involves n number of things in the background. Creating an application involves n number of things. So consider this as our framework application. So this is credit card application, loans application, accounts application. So if I'm creating this application, okay, if I'm creating this application, one bank employee has to use this, right, in his bank, and he's trying to register maybe 10 customers. Okay, and maybe this application different bank employee will be using, he will be registering his own customers, and here also he has to register his own customers. So all the credit card related data has to be maintained in one database table, am I correct? And all the loan information has to be maintained in separate database table, and all the account related information has to be maintained in separate database table. So we're understanding every application must be connected to one database table. Is this statement correct? Yes or no? So tell me online people. So we have to understand every application must be having one database table connected. Whatever the data related to that application has to be maintained in that table. Does this make sense, everyone? Tell me online people, everyone.
Yes.
It should be true.
Yes.
Yes, it should be true.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, yes, yes. So it should be true. So what are we understanding here is, as a business analyst, I'm logging into PEGA platform. Am I correct? There I'm trying to create one new application with the name ABC and type as maybe like credit card or implementation, whatever it is. By just giving these two things, one application is getting created. If an application is getting created, background one table has to be created. So this as a whole we call it like database. Database is nothing but collection of different tables, hundreds of tables. Now this application has to be connected to one particular table only. This one must be connected to another particular table. This one might be for different particular table. So each application has to be connected to its own table, meaning there should be something called mapping connected in between. Getting my point? Mapping. So creating an application should involve one application to be created, one database table to be created, one mapping also to be getting created, and for this operator IDs to be created. Just imagine, by just doing these two-step related things, background, how many extra things have to be automatically generated. It's not that small thing, right? It's not that small thing. And that too, in our entire PEGA, listen carefully this statement, in our entire PEGA, each and everything is to be called as a rule. What is that? Each and everything is to be called as what? Rule.
Rule.
Everything is to be a rule. Everything is a rule. Suppose if I'm a project manager and if I ask you to design something like first name, last name, age, mobile number, what you'll do? So you may create these four somewhere in our parent, maybe framework or so. So creating these things are also rules. First name is a rule, last name is a rule, mobile number is a rule. Maybe if I'm supposed to include one image, that's a rule. On click of this button, if I have to send email, I have to use send email notification as the existing rule. In PEGA, each and everything is to be called as a rule. Everything is to be called as a rule. And if that rule is what I am creating, that is to be called as user created rule. And if the rule which is already existing, that is to be called as
OTB rule.
OOTB rule. Okay, I can say PEGA platform is one OOTB application rule. Is this correct? PEGA platform is one OOTB application rule. Is this correct? Yes or no? Kada? Okay. And in the past versions, PEGA rules is one OOTB application rule. Am I correct? Am I correct? Okay. So administrator at the rate pega.com. This is one OOTB operator ID rule. Am I correct? Yes or no? Okay. Now, as a business analyst, I will be logging in now. I'll be creating maybe three applications. In background, three application rules must be maintained. Everything is a rule. Even application is a rule. Everything is a rule. Okay. So even application and everything. Fine. So generally, if I create one credit card application, consider from production perspective, from bank employee perspective. So I'll run this application, right? I'm running one application rule. Am I correct? In that process, I'll get screen number one. So screen number two, screen number three, maybe screen number four. After that, one email triggering for that person and task is done. His registration is done. So just to complete one transaction, just to complete one whole transaction, what is happening? Our PEGA is running one credit card application rule and then screen number one, that is also a rule within which it is loading one image rule, first name rule, last name rule, okay, and again screen 2 as a rule within which if it is to be collected with 10 different things, 10 different rules. So the third screen rule, everything. So just to register one customer, PEGA is trying to process n number of rules. Am I correct? Just to get one proper output, it is running n number of rules. So processing all the rules and getting some output. That is the reason this is to be called as PEGA rules process commander. What is this? PEGA rules process commander. In shortcut, PRPC. Okay, so we have to understand this tool has to be called with PRPC. So PEGA rules process commander, because it is processing all the rules just to get one output. Getting my point? So PRPC is what you have to understand. From now onwards, every one of you should call this as PRPC tool. You should never call it like PEGA tool. You should never call it like PEGA tool. People with less knowledge, they'll call this as PEGA. It is to be called as PRPC. Suppose if you purchased one laptop, like if you purchased one laptop in Chroma store, if I ask you where did you purchase, will you say it like Chroma store or Tata store? What do you say for this? Chroma kada. You'll not say Tata, right? Because Tata is one biggest organization which is having Chroma as one unit. Chroma as one unit. Similarly, PEGA is one biggest organization where out of which PRPC is one BPM tool. They are into CRM tool, they are into robotics, they are into different things. So I should not directly call this like PEGA. We have to call it like PRPC. Okay, we have to call it like PRPC. Maybe in Naukari or anywhere, if you see PEGA PRPC jobs, that is our related only. PEGA BPM jobs, then also it is our related only. And if you see anywhere like PEGA jobs, if you see anywhere like PEGA jobs, what must be the thing happening here is that respect to HR whoever is posting that, so they must be having little knowledge about that. Their thinking is to go for PEGA PRPC only. They might not have complete knowledge on what the tool name is also. If you see PEGA jobs, then also it's related to us only, because PEGA is more famous into PRPC. PEGA CRM and other things are not that famous. So this is super hit tool. Okay. Fine. So today we are understanding what is PRPC and something like what is OOTB also. Getting my point? What is OOTB also? And you should understand OOTB as a word where and how to use in your real time. Okay, how to use it in your real time. So I'll talk about this later. Now, if I'm consider consider city is your client now. Okay, city is your client. So there is one person who is owner of this city where he doesn't know anything about pickup. He's like business head, and this city person wanted to design one credit card application, so with Pega's help. So here one business analyst, they will be hiring one business analyst, and this client will be every time contacting business analyst only. He'll say, client will say that for credit card I want 25 screens. Screen 1 should be like this, screen 2 like this, screen 3 requirement like email tracking. This is what functionally he will say. It's like functionally he will say. So again business analyst, he will come to development team, and he will ask us like requirement 1 is this, requirement 2 is this, 4 is this, and client is asking the complete work in 6 months or 1 year. According to that business analyst, he will try to act like bridge between development team and the client. Okay, for any kind of time slippages or any kind of budget overlappings, client will question only business analyst. Client will not ask us directly. So business analyst is the complete authority for this whole project. He has to take care of development related skill things. He has to take care of testing related things. And in this process, how much budget it will be, and how much time it should be completed with. All these things BA will take care, no doubt. Now, if client or if maybe if business analyst is coming to us and asking us to design screen number 1, within which there we have to include one image where it should be completely rotating. So there should be one image where it should be completely rotating. So you as a developer has to understand all the requirements, and in that process you have to say your business analyst like, for any kind of graphical images we are not having OOTB. That is what you have to say. So PEGA is mainly targeted for internal projects only. No? Okay, this is for internal application only. So for internal applications, do we really require so graphical design and other things? Not required, right? So PEGA is not like OOTB in that. PEGA has not done such automatic automation in that. So you as a developer will convey the same to your business analyst, saying like there is no OOTB for that. You should not say that we cannot do. We have to say that there is no OOTB. And this business analyst, what they will do, they'll try to convince the client, saying like development team cannot do this because there is no OOTB. If client is okay, no problem. But client, so despite he paying that much amount for you, so will he agree whatever you say? Whatever he says, we are supposed to listen, right? You know? So if client is desperate to want this rotating image, then what you'll do? What you'll do? If anything beyond OOTP, we have tried coding. That's what we are understanding. If anything beyond, we have tried coding. So no doubt here we have to achieve this. So no doubt there is no OOTP. So we have tried coding. So coding in the sense maybe developer one, if you are that developer one. So you have to write some coding and develop this, right? Maybe for that developer one can write the coding maybe with the 10 lines, and developer 2 he might write coding maybe in 15 lines. Developer 3 he might be running in 25 lines, whatever it is. So if anything like customized coding is coming into picture, there might be chances of bad practices, right? There might be chances of bad practice even though all the three developers can get the output, but there might be chances of performance degrading, yes or no? So that is the reason, your business analyst they will not allow you to write coding. What will happen is, as I told you, so in your entire project, so one person from Pega systems also he will be completely available with us. Day one your city client has purchased license from Pega, so it's not like there is no relation between these two from then on. So every in each and every discussion one support person from here he will be available in all the high level meetings. One support person he will be available. So you as an developer has to raise one request with the support person will analyze that issue whatever you are facing, and then he will give you one solution. So he can just say like this feature is included in the latest version, or this feature might not be there, or this feature is like changed with different name, whatever it is. He'll try to help you. And still, if there is no OOTB, getting my point, if there is no OOTB, then this support person has to contact their team. This is completely Pega Systems team who has developed this Pega product or PRPC product. So they are like Java developers actually. Okay, so this person has to contact with the team, and whatever the necessary Java code required, he will make it done and he will hand over it to you. You are supposed to include in your regular development. So you are the owner for the entire development. He is just like supporting for you. So overall, coding related, you need not take care. These persons will take care because product is like they are the owners for the PRPC, right? They will take care of best practices. So that you have to understand. So in the real time, where you have to use word OOTV, that you have to know. That you have to understand. Okay. Let me tell you with one more example. Let me tell you with one more example. Consider you are a developer. Maybe I'm a tester. Okay, I'm tester. So you have developed one screen collecting first name, last name, maybe mobile number, and something like register as the button. Okay, na? Something register as the button. So you developed this one by creating these rules, and on click of this to trigger an email you will be using send email notification. Am I correct? This is OOTP. After your development is done, as a tester I'm testing it. I'm testing it. So in that process I understood, after I clicking on this button no doubt email triggering is happening, but after 20 minutes it is taking long time just for email triggering. Is this defect? Is this a defect? Tell me. So development team they have developed it perfectly, and testing team also tested it. Okay, so there is no issue in terms of design, but it is taking long time for email triggering. Is this a defect? Yes or no?
No.
No, no, yes, no.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes, no. So if you are a developer here, will you accept this defect? I'm a tester. Consider I'm tester. My duty every time here is to fight for a defect. This is a defect. That is what I'll fight for. Your duty every time should be defending that. It's not a defect. Who told you it's a defect? Do you have any proof for that? Show me that proof. then only log that defect. That is what you will defend. So for we both of us, you will be getting business analyst requirement in some documented form. So I'll be taking this document as the reference. You also, I mean, like testers and developers both will be considering same document as the reference. So in this document, they have our business analyst clearly mentioned about how the screen one should be, and they give like one line of statement on click of register button, email triggering should happen. That is what they told. Okay, that is what they told. They did not mention anything about time. It must be completed in 1 minute or 2 minutes. They will not mention generally. Now, as a tester, I identified it is taking long time. I don't have any proof in this document. So tell me, is this a defect or not? Should I log a defect or not? If you are a tester, what you'll do? You'll say that you log a defect. Huh? If you are a developer, what you'll do? You'll say that it's not a defect. Huh? So tell me. So tell me, is this a defect or not? Tell me, online people, is this a defect or not?
It's a
Yes.
performance issue.
Okay. So it is kind of not a defect generally. Why? Because we don't have any proof for it.
It's a bug.
And, yeah. And you as a tester, will you leave this? Will you leave this? So consider in Amazon today I'm placing one order. Immediately I have to get one email, right? Will I get email tomorrow? Will this be correct? If I'm getting email tomorrow, so tomorrow I'll get one more doubt like did I place any new order today or not? అవునా కదా? So this need not be mentioned anywhere in the document, but it's like basic common sense. So you have to understand only functional requirements will be defined in the document. Functional meaning how it should be looking like, what will be its type of data, what will be its validations, and on click of this whether the functionality that is email triggering is perfect or not. Only functional defects will be defined in this one. And this comes under something like performance defect. This is no doubt a defect which comes under performance issue. Okay, so you as a developer has to accept it, no doubt in it. So before you accepting, you might defend this saying like, so on click of register button I have just used one OOTB email triggering. Am I correct? You are just using send email notification. Did you create this rule? No, right? It's a OOTB. Did you make any modifications in this Java code? No, it's completely OOTB. On this button click, you are just calling OOTB. So how far it is my mistake? So if I say this, what you will do? I can say like that I'm just using one OOTB rule. On click of this, I'm just using OOTB rule. If it is taking long time, how far it is my defect? So I cannot accept it. So talk to Pega Systems team. If this is the thing, what I'm saying you, what you will do? You as a developer, you are the owner for this. You have to take ownership of this. So you should understand, you should just go to development studio, and here you have to go for performance. As I told you, below part is completely like debugging, right? You have to click on performance, and then you have to click on register button. Then what is happening, everything you have to check. So how many things are running in the background, each one taking how long time. So what are the other things killing the performance, these things you have to understand. So if you simply say that that this is OOTB, I did not do anything, no one will accept. Testing team, they might not know technical, but they want this as the output, that's it. They want this as the output in this as the lesser time. So you have to understand when you have to go for OOTB terminology. Understood, right, every one of you? Online, everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
today we are completely understanding about what is PRPC and what is like OOTP. And tomorrow we have to understand what happens on this one. As we understood, on click of this, you are supposed to create a new application. So creating a new application is just like two steps for us: application name and application type. But background, hundreds of things happening. What are those 100 things? And just these two steps, how it is generating those 100 rules background. And in the past versions, how it is defined like PEGA rules. Okay, suppose if I'm still in the 7th version, consider I'm still in the 7th version. So I'll create all the projects with PEGA rules as the reference, right? This is the application name. So I created all the applications there. Now if I wanted to upgrade to 8th version, if PEGA rules is not supported here, how I can upgrade old content here? So these things we have to understand. Okay, so that we'll talk tomorrow. So clear, right, everyone? Any doubts? Any doubts, anyone?
No, sir.
Sir.
Yeah. Okay then. Okay, so we have given you enough time to decide to continue to this batch. So whoever has decided by this time, so kindly reach us. Okay, so today you have to enroll for this. Okay then. So please message me on WhatsApp. Whoever is joining online, please message me on WhatsApp saying like I'm okay to continue. So then you have to enroll. Whatever happened so far, everything will be shared to you, and from tomorrow you will be joining everything seamless. Okay. Clear, right, every one of you? Good to close. Any more doubts, anyone?
No.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay then. Thank you, thank you.